All right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah. PITW with Ahaya Ahaya. Peace in the wilderness. With the I am that I am. Say something I wasn't planning on saying, but I'm going to cover that right now since it's in me. It's in me. And that is the title, the name that I use is Peace in the Wilderness. In time past, in on my old page, I used prophetess in the wilderness. I want to explain to you all the wilderness has been done wrong. Mhm. The wilderness is a word that many have no idea, and a place in which many have no idea of what it was, what it is, and where it shall be in the days to come. Why? Because when you are teaching and ministering and preaching, and you call yourself to a position in which you were not given by the Holy Spirit, then therefore you can teach this book, which is the King James Bible, and all the lost books, all the found books. You can wear it out in the way that you want people to believe it. But through the Holy Spirit, the true teacher, the one that really teaches you and lead you and guide you and show you things to come and reveal things to you. You see, that comforter, that power. When you don't have that, you are talking, I consider, out of your rectum. And the people are eating the rectum words up. Why do I say that? Because me just calling out my how would I say it, ministry title name, Peace in the Wilderness. And I got stuck right there with the word wilderness. And my old page says prophetess in the wilderness. Let me just throw something out. My topic is going to be about light and darkness, or darkness and light. But I want to tell you about the wilderness. We've heard so many things about the wilderness as if it was such a horrible place. And that's how we understand it based on the Western teaching. We understand everything based on how someone else taught us. We never wanted, even be in the beginning, we never wanted what Yah wanted us to know or to have. We always wanted idol gods, and we always wanted something that we wanted. That's what made us such a stiff neck and a rebellion and a disobedient people, because we never obeyed him. You see, we would just imagine, it is not talking about you this way to the heathens, the Gentiles, or your nation. This is who you were in the eyes of the Creator. That's the part of you that don't understand. This is telling you that's who you are. And you study turning your head. Now, that's what they said we are. See what I'm saying? Same thing with the wilderness. When he brought Israel out of the bondage of Pharaoh, he had to have made that place for them. It was called the wilderness. But did you ever think he wasn't taking them to a horrible place? He was taking them to the place that he had prepared to them for them until he take them to the promised land. Why would he bring you out of Pharaoh's bondage and take you to the wilderness like you all said that he did? That just shows you whatever set in you all's mind, it's set there. Ain't nothing Sister Deborah can say, teach, preach, do, show, verses. It's nothing. Once it's there, that's it. Can't nobody change it. Nobody. And y'all don't waste his time trying to bring it to change it, because he knows there's not a change in you. So why try to change you from the outside when he knows there's not a change in you from within the inside. So when I think of the wilderness, I don't think of it like everybody else. I really honestly, maybe when I was a teenager, I might have. I can't remember that I thought of it like you all thought of it. I see the wilderness as a place that's still orchestrated by Yah. And it's a place where he deals with you one on one. That's how I saw the wilderness, and that's how I see it. A place where you're gonna find his presence. That's just like over in Africa. Those people ain't not walking around trying to work, trying to do anything, or trying to have. They out there appreciating whatever they have, where they at. A lot of them don't have nothing, but they appreciate just what little they do have. You see, that's the mind of Judah, always being an idol Yah, an idol God, and materialistic things. That's the mind of Judah. Okay, and it's still wrapped around that stiff neck rebellion and disobedience. 100%. Going back again. I'm not one of the old. I'm the one of the new, but yet of the old. Because my mission is to come to give Judah the right now word, to give Judah judgment, to give Judah spirit and truth, to give Judah the light. But did he know that Judah wasn't going to embrace the light? Sure, he did. Just like he knew that Judah wasn't going to embrace him. How about that? He knew that Judah going to be stiff-necked, rebellious, and disobedient all the way to the end. He knew that. So the wilderness is what you drilled in your flesh to believe. Let it be that. But with the sister Deborah, no matter where the wilderness is at. If I have to be in the wilderness, I know it's a place where God is at. That's where he would teach me, lead me, and guide me. And I don't have no problem with that. I salute him in the name of the Most High Yah, to whom he is. I don't have no problem with being in the wilderness. Okay? So today we're going to talk about light and dark. Being so someone brought that to me as a topic that we need to really talk about, or we need to speak about. So I want to speak about light and dark. First and foremost, I want to let you know that light and dark is carried more than one way. In your study guide, light and dark, you cannot just make it one way. What I learned was when I first got on to YouTube, I heard a lot of the brothers in the the men in the Hebrew Israelites. I need to stop calling them brothers. In the Hebrew Israelites, teaching that darkness was what was present before Yah. And darkness was considered evil, and darkness is evil. So they said that there was powers already here before Yah created the heavens and earth. That is a for sure lie. Okay? Yes, it was. It's a lie. It's one of them lies from the pit of hell. But what can they do? They can't do no better. The tribe of Judah, the people of Judah, especially the men cannot do no better than they have done. They can't now. It's not in them. It's not given to them. This is why they're running ragged out here and building their hearts on cults. And it's men rule, men leader, we the king, we the ruler. In the land of their captives, have they shown to be nothing, but yet want to be something. But guess to who? You out there that are melanated people. They're trying to prove themselves to you. Don't get tied up in their cults, in their religion, in their denomination, their Hebrew Israelite movement. Don't get caught up in it. Because it's worse than a scam. Because it's not giving you spirit and truth. It's not putting that light in your right hand or brightening the light in your right hand to make it brighter. They're not feeding you food for the spirit. They're feeding you food for their organization, their group, their cult. And they got many following them. And Judah, I know you're going to go that way. A lot of you are embedded in that way. And it's nothing wrong because you have to go back to the two seeds. The world loves their own. And the seed of a serpent belongs to the world. So, that's about right. So the men of Judah, I would have thought that they would have seen more light than I. But I realized the Father said, Deborah, they've been in so much darkness with me. Don't expect them to see the light more than you. Because they're the one been in the darkness for so long to the point where they don't want their own nation, their own tribe to see any light. Only light they want you to see is the light of their own flesh, their flesh understanding, their flesh wisdom, and their flesh knowledge. Outside of that, they don't want you to see no light because they have not seen Yah light, nor have they followed therein. So when we speak of light and we speak of darkness, you find yourself all over the place because you have to put it in the right perspective. Like I said, when I first got on here, they was using dark as evil. And they still today don't understand when you take dark and just apply it to evil. This is how the European applied us as black. Okay. That's how they applied us. Now, Sister Deborah is not black. And I am every bit of more of a brown color. But yet, on all forms in this country, they see us as, not see us, they categorize us as something that we are not, and we smile. Our men smile with a big smile in their faces and running around here saying, I'm awakened. All is well. We the this, we the this. How are you awakened? How are you the true anything when you still have not defeated the things that category you to be what you are not? You are not black, but that's their way of making you feel that you are. They put it on every form. They even put African American. You're not from Africa, but see how many times you have to check that box to lie for them on their behalf. You see how you're in captivity, in bondage, that you have to agree with their ways, their food that they put in chemicals in. They bring the bad meat out down to the area of the city or the areas of where we reside, even though we think we the opposite. So I say unto you, when we're dealing with this light and dark, it's all kind of ways they have swung this light and dark. And I just like to cover some of it before I get out. My family on my mom and my sister and all of them and are getting together tomorrow for what they call Thanksgiving. And with that being said, one of my oldest sister told me last week, when we want you to come, I told them that I'm not coming. She said, well, can you send the salad? Or I can come pick it up. If you make the salad, I'll come pick it up. So I told her, yeah, I'll make y'all that salad. It's a salad that I make that they like. So I'm going to make that salad for them. And for my family, that's over North County, all of my adult children and my ex-husband, they are over there and all of them are off. So they got me cooking their meal. And in the morning, I'm going to have to take the food that I cook. We got the roast. I told them I won't get no ham. I won't cook no ham and I won't get it. And I won't purchase nothing that has pork. So I told them, even though, a couple of them eat pork. No, ain't no couple of them. My ex-husband. And I'm not going to fix pork. So I made, I ain't made it yet, but roast beef and gravy, turkey and dressing, uh, turkey and dressing, sweet potato pie. They're gonna have one chocolate cake. They're gonna have a cheesecake. They're gonna have, I said, the dressing. They're gonna have macaroni and cheese. They're gonna have green beans. They're gonna have collard greens, and they're gonna have cornbread, dinner roll, cranberry sauce, and I think that's okay. So I'm just going to box it up, take it, set it on their dining room table, and tell them, Mama, see y'all later. And that's what I do when they ask me. So this time they asked me, and I told them, okay, I do that. Uh, but they know now already that I don't deal with the pork, so I won't be, getting pork. And, so what they did is each one of them pays for the food, you see. And when they pay for the food, which they did, I go and I get what it takes to make all the food. And it turned out, yeah, they're gonna have mashed potatoes and gravy. Um, so that's gonna be it. It's six adults altogether because I think no, it's gonna be more because I think they're gonna have Joseph gonna have his fiance, and I think my oldest son gonna have his little friend. So I don't know, but all I'm gonna do is set up a table, and then I leave. Like every year, they ask me to do it. So it's a thing that they have me doing for every year, and I don't mind as long as they pay for the food. I done my part years ago. But they pay for their own food. So I said that to say that that's where I'm heading after this video because I felt that I should upload a video every morning, and I'm gonna try my best to do just that. And this one here is gonna cover the light and the dark, and I want to cover it because I'm gonna tell you it's not just the Hebrew Israelites. There are Africans and their belief that darkness is a form of a power and that it exists before Yah exists. I mean, y'all got to hear this. And darkness is this is this. That's how the European, the Western world have a category us black because they connected to evil. You know, darkness. The way people understand darkness is really out of order. Is what I'm saying to you. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to start from someone asked me if we could talk about light and dark. And I think the individual going to be surprised that light and dark does not mean what many might have understood throughout time. It does not mean that, you guys. It's totally the opposite. Not in some cases. So we're going to start at one case is in Genesis where I'm gonna tell y'all the Hebrew Israelites they look at this darkness as evil and Satan, as if y'all had to pull up with light. No, baby, you can't. You bent. You don't have to pull up with light. So you got to understand when light pull up, everything dark has to bow down. Okay, so you got to understand what darkness this is. This is a different darkness in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, 2, and 3. Let's go there. In Genesis chapter 1, uh, verse 1, in the beginning, Yah created the heavens and the earth. The heavens and the earth. Okay. And the earth was without form. And what does without form mean? It had no form. It was formless. It had no shape, no nothing. It didn't have uh mountains, it didn't have rivers, it didn't have anything. It had no form. Just imagine when you get a piece of paper and you get rid a blank piece of paper and you look at that paper and you're going to build a house on this paper. You're going to draw a house on it. But before you draw that house, what is that paper? Blank. No form is written on this paper. It's nothing on this paper but blank. So you got to call it what it is. What is it? A blank piece of paper. Okay? Now, when you hear him say in verse 2, the earth was without form, it's like it was blank, no form to it. Okay? And void. Void mean without form, empty, vacant, blank, not occupied, not non-occupied, occupied. So therefore, you got to understand this was what? The earth. Now watch this here. And darkness was upon the face of the earth. Now he's letting you know the earth had no form. It was just pitch dark. And as he says, the face of the deep in verse 2, and the darkness was upon the face of the deep. Leave it there. Leave it there. The deep shows you that there's somewhere that there was water. Okay. And the water was covering the whole face of the earth, but there was nothing else. Okay. Now watch this here. Now the deep shows you that there was water. Okay. And the spirit of Yah, this is what people don't understand. The spirit of Yah is the identical light, capital light, in the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 9. Let's go. The Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 9. It reads, the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 9. That was the true light. Yah is the true light. Notice it's capitalized. He is the true light, which lighted every man that cometh unto the world. He lighted you with the same image of himself, which is a light. You see? That's why he's the capital light and you're the lowercase light, because he gave you his same image, which is a light, which is a spirit of him. That was the image of him, a light. So when he put in here, when he blew in us a spirit, which is a light, like unto him, he himself, a light. That's his image. And when he gave and give life to us, he blew in the spirit. And in that spirit, it was a spirit of a masculine or a feminine spirit. Okay. So when you see here in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 2, where it says, and the spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. That was his light. That was his spirit, you guys. Moved upon. Why? Because how could there have been anything outside of darkness if he's the ultimate light of all things? What you expect to be on the earth? Light? No, he is the ultimate light. Even when we get to the kingdom, he said there's not going to be no more sun, moon, stars, day. Why? Because he is the light. See, all of that's going to pass away. But we're going to have light. Why? Because he is the ultimate light, which he was in Genesis chapter 2. His spirit moved upon the face of the water. So we know that deep in water was present. Deep represent to me water, and water represent the word deep. So we knew it was water, but his shadow of his light gleamed upon the face of the deep of the water. Okay. And Yah said, let there be light. Why did he say light? Because darkness was already present. He didn't need darkness. All he needed was light. Okay? And there was light. Notice that's a lowercase light. So this switches light. Now, this is not the light in which you see in the Gospel of John chapter 9. That's a different light that he gave us. That light he gave us was his image. It is called a light as well. Okay? So when he said, let me create the light, and there was light, that's not talking about your spirit of an image of him. He's talking about as a sight of brightness. You see, he created the brightness. You see what I'm saying? Now, is this brightness of this light in Genesis 1 and 3 brighter than him? No. No light overrides the light of who Yah is, which is his spirit. So he says in verse 3, it is said in verse 3, and Yah said, let there be light. And there was light. Now, this has nothing to do with the light that he put in us. That's a spirit he put in us. This is a brightness. This here is a sight to brightness, a shine. And Yah saw the light that it was good, and Yah divided the light from the darkness. You see, he didn't have to create the darkness, it was already present. Myself and what I believe is that there was once something on the earth at some other time period before it was just pitch dark in water. I believe there was something that exists in time. I mean, way before heaven and earth was created. I believe there's another time period. And it might not have been men, but it might have been whatever. But I believe there might have been another time period outside of the time period in which he's creating here in Genesis chapter 1. This is Sister Deborah. So here you see darkness and light being a time, like a time period of what one will see brightness and one would see darkness. Brightness and darkness. This is a design of the Most High Yah as far as the light. He wanted to have the light to be embedded in the midst of the darkness. And then in verse 5, and Yah called the day, the light, day, and the darkness he called night. Bam, stop. This is where we have to stop. We can't make this darkness evil like the Western world did to us. The world has called us black, and it put that category and it's typical on us that we are evil and we are this because we black. And you look at me, you see, why is it that I have to live all these years down here being called a color that I am not? See? And you're saying you awaken. And we know what the Western world, consider black evil. See, they take it. So when I'm saying this, that's why I said dark and light, you have to be able to apply it in the right category. You see, and I think that's what a lot of people do not do, especially people in different religions. They want to take darkness as evil, and you can apply darkness as evil, but you got to put it in the right perspective. You can't just say that when evil was all darkness, so that was darkness evil, so we were all here. I mean, darkness, the evil was here before we would. No, you can't say that. You can't say that because the darkness in which was present here was not evil. Okay. Matter of fact, it was just what it is: void, without form, empty, blank. Okay. So let's go to another verse I have. And let's go to John, the Gospel of John, chapter 9 and verse 4 and 5. The Gospel of John, chapter 9 and verse 4 and 5. The Gospel of John, chapter 9, verse 4 and 5. Let me see, did I want to go? Okay, let's go. Let's go. And it reads, the Gospel of John, chapter 9, verse 4 and 5. It reads, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. and the night cometh when no man can work. Verse 5. As long as I am is in the world, I am the light of the world. Notice it's a lowercase I light. Okay. Notice it is the lowercase light of the world. Okay. I am the light of the world. As long as I am is in the world, I am the light of the world. Now, when you see that, you have to see twice it's showing you I am. What they're doing here is identifying the Father. It says, as long as I am in the world, I am the light in the world. Now, right here, you have to understand this is Christ. Christ is the light of the world. See what I'm saying? Christ is the light of the world. Okay? And this is what he's saying here in verse 5. As long as I am in the world, I am Christ. I am in the world. I am the light of the world. See what I'm saying? When you get to verse 4, it says, I must work the works of him that sent me. You see? The works of him that sent me. That going back to show you that there is a difference between the Son of Man and the Son of Yah. You see here, his Son of Man is announcing to the world that someone sent me here. I did not send myself. You see? He said in verse 4, I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. And the night cometh when no man can work. When I see that, I see him saying that as long as I am in the world, I am in the world, I am the light of the world. What I see is Yeshua is actually letting you know that as long as Yah is in him, which is Christ, there is day. But the once Christ is taken away, the night gonna come, and when no man can work. You see? I believe he's sitting here actually telling you right here that the I am is Christ. While he is in me, I do the works of him that sent me while it is day. Right? So day is here representing light. But it's speaking of day and light to be the same thing. Now, this day and night is not speaking of like the 12 hours in the daytime and the 12 hours in the night. This is not what this is talking about, baby. That's showing you how you can apply the two in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 to 5 with this one here. This is a different day and night. You see, this is a total different day and night. He's speaking of actions now. He's speaking of the light is representing Yah. And he says there's going to come a day, the night coming, okay, when no man can work. That's why I try to explain to you all. And you think, I ain't gonna say what you think because I can't say that, but I can tell you, you look at Sister Deborah cockeyed because you already cockeyed and can't see. So you don't see, you can't spiritual see and spiritual hear what Sister Deborah is saying, but that it's not saying nothing but you ain't who you think you are. You see? That's all I'm saying to you, to be to tell the truth of the matter from the kingdom. Because you look at me cockeyed because you don't have no understanding. You don't have no light. You see? You're sitting over in darkness. And this is how this word, this day and night is represented. There's a time where it's going to be about the works of Yah while it's day. But when the night comes, nobody's going to work. That's telling you a critical time when right now the light represent the Most High Yah Spirit. The night represent the opposite. It's going to come to where you, if you ain't represented by Yah Spirit, it's gonna. What did it say? The night coming and no man can work. Why? Because you're not of Yah Spirit, which is the day. This is what this is talking about. It's talking about he that is of the Spirit and he that is of the flesh, in a sense, because the dark, the night represent one is not going to be able to work. Why? Because the day is over. Either you're going to have it or you don't. Let me give you a good example. The wheat and the tare. He told in that parable, the huntsman, he told them that the servants, they said, do you want us to tie the wheat up tie the tare up and burn it? He said, no, let the wheat and the tare grow together. Why? Because there's coming a time where I'm going to separate the wheat from the tare. And I heard a couple of people preach that thing in the last 2 weeks. They believe Yah separated the wheat from the tare. I know for a fact he did. He already did that. He already did that. So that's why I also appreciate Yah allowing people to draw from Sister Deborah's ministry on this platform, because to me, it matches him doing the work of separating who's who and what's what. Are there going to be still some lagging? Yes. But they're going to lag until they fall off because they're not going to gain anything. Okay? So here, when you hear him talking about, let's take it to verse 3. The Gospel of John, chapter 9 and verse 3. Yeshua answered, neither have this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of Yah should be manifest in him. See how the works of Yah should be manifest? Let's go on over to verse 9. Let's go on. Let me just go on and see if I can take it even deeper. And I know I'm going a little bit too deep because I can already feel it. And I haven't even uploaded this video. And I can already feel the spirits are not going to be able to grip what I'm about to go through. The Gospel of John chapter 9 and verse 1. And Yeshua passed by and saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciple asked him, saying, Master, who did sin? This man, or who did sin? This man or his parent, that he was born blind? Now you see the mind of Judah. That's why I tell y'all just don't know. The mind is, oh, he only blind because he done something. He sinned. And if he didn't sin, his parents sinned. You see? It wasn't just today. These are the disciples that walked all that time with him, but they didn't receive the Holy Spirit until after he had ascended and son. After he had ascended and the Holy Spirit came down, and that's what brought them back into the remembrance and everything they were taught. This is them before they even had the Holy Spirit in them, but the Spirit was on the outside of them teaching. But they didn't know the A to B. So here they says, did he sin because he blind? Was that did he sin or his parents? That's why he's blind. Look how they looking at sin as something you done to to bring these sort of this blindness on you. And Yeshua answered, neither. His parents didn't sin for him to get this, neither did he sin, nor his parents. Verse 3. But that the works of Yah should be manifested in him. You see Yah's works? It's his works, those works of the Spirit of Yah. Is, you see what it does? It bring deliverance. It bring, you think why people still sick? People didn't have sickness for so long, they still embrace it as if it's a trophy in their hand. Because they take medication, because I got this illness. People embrace it like it's a trophy in their hand. And I am serious. Not understanding. If you've been suffering through this for this long, it's something's going on in you. Because the deliverer has come and has delivered and ain't coming back. So if you got him in you and you still sick, this man got delivered. Where is your deliverance? People ain't who they say they are, and they think they are. No, no, no. And family, everybody think that they are the angel. No, they ain't. No, they ain't. So listen to this in verse 3. So Yeshua answered, neither he, this man, sinned, nor his parent. But watch this here. But that the works of Yah shall be manifested in him. Why haven't the works of Yah been manifested in you? Where's your healing and your deliverance? Why are you on all these medications? Why you got all these sickness? This man was healed. He was set up from the floor up so that the signs and wonders of the works of Yah can be revealed. What did Sister Deborah tell you yesterday? Who you are in your spirit would roll over into your flesh. And if you sick and ill and it ain't rolled, that's because you sick and ill in your flesh. You really sick in your flesh. Not your flesh, your spirit. I mean your spirit. Because if you sick in your flesh, then you are sick in your spirit. Because by now, like it was manifested in him, to do what? Watch what it says. That Yah works should be manifested in him. See, I told y'all, the flesh and the spirit works hand in hand. Yeshua is actually telling you right here what I was telling you yesterday. His blindness was manifested in him. It was manifested in him as Yah works to deliver him. Ooh-wee. It was in him manifested so that Yah can heal him on the outside. So it's going back to what I was saying yesterday. It's what you are in your spirit that reveal the truth of the whole matter. Who you are in your flesh. That is the example of this blind man. He was where? Watch this here, y'all. Watch this. The blind man was blind in his fleshly eyes. Watch this here. In his fleshly eyes. And what did he say? The works of Yah. Look at verse 3. The works of Yah shall be manifested in him. In his what? In his spirit. To deliver his flesh. That's what I tried to explain to you all yesterday when I was saying about the heart to give. I did a whole video on that when I was sitting on the floor. It's where everything starts where you are in the spirit. You got a spiritual heart. You got a spiritual mind. And if it's rotten and hardcore and hard, it ain't going to do nothing on the outside of your flesh. And this one here, Yeshua was saying, listen to what he says. And Yeshua said it wasn't his mother's fault nor his sin. It was the works of Yah. The works of Yah should be manifest in him. In him. I must work the works of him that sent me. Now, if Yeshua said he's supposed to work the works of Yah that sent him, why are we walking around here thinking and feeling we all lack in something and we don't have no works, nor do we have any spirit to work, to reveal to the world or to the flesh that I have the works of Yah in me? Standing around like, oh, I got all the works of Yah. I got all the fruits of the Spirit. I got the Ruach HaKodesh. I got the Holy Spirit. I got the light. I got God down in me. But you don't have a lick of works in you. And when I say in you, in your spirit, to identify who you serve in your flesh. So this is what Yeshua was saying. And verse 4 said, I must work the works of him that sent me. There go Yeshua telling y'all the same thing I was telling you yesterday. I must work the works of he that sent me. All these things that Yeshua was doing was the works of Yah. So are the works something you see or just something you have? Like many people, they claim they got it. But wait a minute, is it something you got or is something you see? You see it once the spirit that has it release it, because it's manifested in the spirit and it's released through the flesh. He was manifested as the work of God to release his sight in the flesh. There you go. And he said, Yeshua said it right here. The works of Yah should be manifest in him. That's how he got his sight. Because it rolled out of the spirit into the flesh. That was the works of God that was manifested already in the spirit. Okay, verse 4, I must work the works of Yah that sent me. Same thing. Same thing I was saying yesterday. It's got to be already in you. And if it's not, this is the good way of you out there and I and many others that's walking in spirit and truth can identify by trying the spirit by the spirit. If one has no works or no work or few fruit of the spirit that rolls over into the world where the flesh can see it, you ain't got nothing for sure. Sister Deborah on this Deborah platform, and all the things I have ever talked about and have, that's the works, y'all. That's the fruit. That's what? Already manifested in me. I'm pouring it out through what? My flesh. So what? You can receive that which is what? Manifested in my spirit. The works of Yah is manifested in our spirit. And it rolled over into our flesh. And Yeshua even telling you, I have to do the works that Yah sent me here to do. Where are your works, Yeshua? That is in my spirit. It rolls out into my flesh. All the works that you see me do is of my Father. How? It rolls out from the spirit that's in me into my flesh, and it is revealed to everyone. That's the work that I come down here to perform. So as you see here, it says, verse 4, for I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. He's meaning it's while he is stepping into his called mission. Okay, day represent a time period in which he is here. Why? Because he has the Holy Spirit with him, the light. while the Holy Spirit is with him, he must, what did he say? I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. Watch this here. For the night cometh when no man, see how he switched from himself? He switched from himself and then told you. Look how he did it. Verse 4. I must, this is Yeshua, work the works of him that sent me while it is day. Okay? The night cometh when no man can work. I got a purpose, and I must do it right now because it's set in me. Because night cometh when no man is going to be able to show their works. Same thing Sister Deborah keep trying to say to people. The Father put something on my heart so heavy this morning, and I still don't know where He's going with it. But surely He's going to take me there. Because I'm still trying to figure out, I know about that already, Father, but where are you taking me? He keeps saying, Deborah, like the days of Noah, you still in full understanding the days of Noah, right? I said, yeah. He said, like the days of Noah, that ark was closed and it was ending, and not one. I know he's trying to lean into me in a way that not just because my spirit gets it, that my flesh fully gets it. And somewhere it makes me feel like it's something I'm not embracing that I need to embrace. And that is, I think, is the fact that no matter how you give a good message, it's no matter how much spirit and truth, how much light, they didn't come in from Noah. They didn't come in, Deborah. And that was the end of all things that I created. No one preached that. That's what he was telling me this morning. All your life, who have you heard teach it? When you heard somebody preach it? They won't. They won't cover that. So they thinking this, he said, they thinking it's going to be way different in this day and time. When Yeshua came to told them, it's going to be like the days of Lot, and it's going to be like the days of Noah. And they have nothing in them. Because I think as after that, he went on and telling me how everybody would take stuff like this holiday and they would look at this pagan holiday and they would look at it without even caring about the meaning. The meaning don't match the way they want to see the holiday. So then that means they have to be living in lie. They ain't coming out to meet Noah in the ark. This is why they didn't. Same reason right today. They would rather hear others teach them lies than to come in what you're saying and saying, wait a minute, because they are out in the time period of night. It's not like the darkness in that was on the earth in the beginning. This is something totally different. And right here where he says, I must do the works of he that sent me while it is day. Day, you have to connect it with the idea of a day is a time period in which Yah has charged him to do his work. For the night coming, and then he switched on him and said, man, he said, the night shall come when no man can work. It's like the wheat with the tare. He said, I will do the separating. He'd already to separate the wheat and the tare. So you all don't understand. In this day we're in, you're being caught up in the night. You're being caught up in the night. How many times in the 3 years, Sister Deborah keep telling you, it's finished. He ain't coming to make the crooked straight. That's matching when no man can work. No man can work. And that's applying it to me as well. It's what he's constantly telling me. You can stand on the mountain. What you telling them is a bright light. But you be subject if you have one in number, two in number the most. Outside of that, he's just showing me how thick it really is. Like the message yesterday was a very powerful punch. I had to listen to it this morning. It's kind of just, ooh, Father. And he say, now look at the number. You see how narrow that gate is? I told you that gate is narrow. You can't show him the way. I'm not going to show him the way because this is the time where he says the time will come, the night will come when no man can work. You stand your tail on that other end over there looking at me cockeyed if you want. You the one going to be out. And then he said in verse 5, as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. And if you think he's in this world right now, it's over, y'all. Either you are of the light or you of the darkness. And I mean the light of evil. I mean the darkness of evil and the light of righteousness. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Flesh, worshiping the flesh, born of the flesh means you worship things in the dark. When one work in the dark, you cannot see. That means you can't see in the dark, so you can't work. So for those who are born of the flesh, they are of the darkness. They just like standing in the darkness, being in the darkness, being in the presence of darkness because they are born to do everything they're doing in the darkness. And I'm not talking about the darkness of day and night. I'm talking about the darkness of a different level of darkness. You see, and those that are in the light, they should be doing the things in which Sister Deborah is speaking of right now. Teaching the things that's in the light, y'all. Sister Deborah tried to tell y'all that over and over and over and over. Just to me, it just seemed like so many years done gone by. And the good thing about it, I do, y'all. Y'all might not even take it for real. I am so grateful that he has separated the wheat from the tare and that he's still going to continue to make sure one is on one side and the other one's on the other because that's what time we're in. It's over. He removed anybody that's pulling up, portraying the role. And let me tell y'all something. I learned something yesterday that was very powerful, but I knew it. I knew it. See, my problem is being an empath. I think that's what it's called, an empath. I'm a person that believes in people, whether they're in the darkness or whether they're in the light. And a lot of times I will believe in them even if they're in the darkness, but yet give them that benefit of a doubt. So this is where I'm disobedient because the gift that God has given me is the spirit of discerning. And it wasn't given to me to accept darkness and embrace it. But because of my personality, that benefit of the doubt is there. So that's where I am in big error. Okay. So here, when you're dealing with the light and the darkness, I'm gonna tell you, it's telling you right here in verse 4 and verse 5. One is talking about day and night, and the other one in 5 is telling you the light. Because day and night is where you do the day is where you do the work of God that's manifested in you. That means your spirit. Because the night come, and guess what? You're not going to even be able to give anything to the night. That's what he's trying to let you know. What Sister Deborah been talking about all this time. It's over. Y'all just clowning. Where are they clowning? When it's over and it is called the night when no man can work. Told y'all. I've been teaching that for 3 years. So you can go on either way you want to. Now, I want to go back to the Gospel of John, chapter 1. I got to hurry up with this. Of the Gospel of John, chapter 1, and verse. Let's go there. In the Gospel of John, chapter 1, let's roll over here in verse. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 4 and 5. Now, I want you to see what it says. In him was life. That's Yah. He's life. That's that breath. See, and what you got to understand, that breath that he blows in is a spirit. It is a light he given you, and that light represent he is the bright light, and you are the lowercase light. Listen to verse 4. The Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 4. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. That's the light that he gave each and every last one of us. A spirit. Okay? Life that he, look how he connects life with the light. Life with the light. Listen now, listen to what I'm saying. Verse 4. The Gospel of John, chapter 4. In him, in Yah, was life, and the life was the light of men. See? Now let's go to Genesis chapter 1 and verse 2. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 2. Listen to this. Verse 7. And Yah formed man of the dust of the ground. Now there go the dust of the ground, the dirt. He formed man. And see the breath? You see the breath? The breath formed man and breathed. I mean, not breathe. Let's breathe. You see what he did? He breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. Okay? The breath of life was what? That he breathed into him. It came with a spirit, which is a light. And man became a living soul. You see how they lied? Man became a living soul. Soul should have never been there. What's in the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 4? Light. Man became a light. There it is, right in before your face. In him was life. That's the breath of life that he blew. And the life was a light. That was your spirit of men. That was your spirit. That life blew into you, which is an image of Yah. Why did they come and they said here, they changed it and they put a living, verse 7, and man became a living soul. That's a lie. But look how long they've been feeding it. Who put that there? The Roman Catholic. But look how long people believed it. And right here today, they don't even understand the Gospel of John chapter 4. Here is the breath of life right here. Here is the breath of life. And when it blew into his nostrils, he blew in a light. Not man became a living soul. No. Man became a image of Yah, which Yah is a spirit, and now man has become a spirit likened to the image of Yah. A spirit, not a soul. I've been trying to teach that, and I sit back. I guess it's going back to what he was telling me earlier about Noah. Did you see anybody come with Noah there? Come in after year after year after year? Well, I want you to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. He keep warning me about that. And I guess that goes back to sometimes I get so discouraged because I'm like, I feel. Ain't no feel. It's not a natural feeling. When I be telling you I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall, maybe it's strictly spiritual. It's strictly spiritual realm. Okay. So here in the Gospel of John, it also informed you that it has been a lie. It says a light. You go down to the next verse and it says, and the light shining. There it goes. The spirit that I gave you, an image of me, it's shining. The spirit in which I've given you, the image of me, Deborah, it's shining. But look what it says. Darkness. And the darkness comprehended not. That's because that spirit of his image he gave you in your flesh. And your flesh is looked at as darkness because it is your enemy. Your flesh and your spirit has nothing in common. That's why you have to allow your spirit to have dominion over your flesh. And when you have the spirit in you of Yah, he will help you get your flesh under some subjection. But you got so many people who've been in the church for 50, 60, 30, 80 years. You got people who've been on this devil platform and been on this platform for years, said they've been learning about Yah, they know about Yah, and guess what, y'all? They are still in darkness. And he's letting you know, but the flesh comprehend it not. That's going back to showing you from Genesis 2 and verse 7. Listen to what it says. Genesis 2 and verse 7. And Yah formed man in the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. Living soul is identical to this right here, verse 5. And the light shineth, but darkness in the darkness, the light, the spirit shine in that flesh, Deborah, but the flesh comprehend it not. Today, men and women cannot comprehend that there's no soul. There's only flesh and spirit. There's only the two, baby. They didn't added a third one. And the world believes it. You can't get no one to understand it ain't no soul, baby. You can add on to it. You can call it your mind, your soul. He didn't tell you that. I want y'all to go there and do your deep study. Take Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. Bring it right here before the Gospel of John chapter 1. Land it on verse 4 and 5. Look at 5. The light shining. Guess why? Why is that light shining? Because that's Yah's image in you that he blew into you. And he blew it into your what? Nostrils. But listen to this. Verse 2. The dust of the ground. The form of man, the dust of the ground, he blew in a light. And then it says, but into the darkness. The darkness represent the flesh. And then he turned around and said, and the darkness comprehend it not. What is it saying? Flesh fighting against the spirit. 99.9% of the time you're living, your flesh fight up against your spirit. And this is why the world never knew it wasn't a soul. You drop down to verse 9, it says, that was the true light. The true light was the one who is the image. That's Yah's image that he gave unto us. Listen to what he says. He gave us image of his light, which lit it every man that come into the world. How did they miss that? In Genesis chapter 2 and add so. And I see that today. I see that today, y'all, right here today. People are missing it by a great number. But that's what he wants me to know. You just read it, Deborah. And I'm talking to y'all, and he's bringing it to my mind. You just read it. Exactly what I was telling you. Like it was in the days of Noah. They didn't listen then. They ain't gonna listen now. So I'm just grateful to have an opportunity to still speak truth, whether they hear it or not. Those are my tokens. Those are my rewards in the kingdom. Is it based on if you hear it? If it's based on if you accept it? No, heaven already got that wrote in and wrote out. It's based on the works that I'm called here to do, to bring forth. 99.9 don't understand. It ain't nothing you got. It can override the works that Yah has put in me to bring forth. The fruit in which he has instilled in me to bring forth. Nothing. Only earth can override that. So when you go to the Gospel of John, you match the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 4 and 5, then skip down to verse 9 and bump that bad boy in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. It don't make sense. Where the soul come from? Why couldn't it tell the truth? He breathed his image into man, like unto his light, and man's light became life itself. Not so. You're giving too much. The world has given too much. But then the world loves its own. So let me just go on to what I need to go to. So let's go to the Gospel of John. Let me see. Did we cover the Gospel of John, chapter 11? Did we do that one? Chapter 11 and verse 9 and 10. In the Gospel of John, chapter 11, verse 9 and 10, and Yeshua answered, are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, he stumble not, because he seeth the light of this world. Okay. But if, verse 10, but if any man walk in the night, he stumble, because there is no light in him. We're gonna have to bump that up. We're gonna have to bump that up to verse 8. He's saying something very powerful, because I can feel that thing. I can feel that. The Gospel of John, chapter 11, verse 8. His disciples said unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goeth thy, what is it? And goeth thou hither, yeah, against. Why is the Jews of late sought to stone thee? You see how I'm telling you about Judah? Judah is always being a real, it's not just Judah, but it's Israel too, the Jews. Listen to what they said in verse 8. His disciples said unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee. The Jews of late, I would think that would be the elders. Okay, that's what I would think. And goeth thou hither again? And Yeshua answered, are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, he stumble not, because he seeth the light of the world. Now, right here, he took it out of a natural and he swung it into a spiritual realm. Because listen to what he says. Are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, he stumble not, because he seeth the light of the world. See, the light of the world. See what I'm saying? He seeth the light of the world. Now, verse 10. But if a man walketh in the night, he stumble, because there is no light in him. So what he's saying here, he that is in the day, if any man walk in the day, he stumble not, because he seeth the light of the world. If anybody that has the Holy Spirit, he could see it, the light in the world. I like that, because if I'm feeling that, it's like I try to say to you all, you don't have to be in my presence for me to know who you are. I know who you are from what the Ruach revealed to me. Okay? It reveals who you are to me. It don't give me the fullness if I don't ask it, but it'll give me somewhat something to hold on to be curious about. You see? And I thank him about that. I thank him for that. Because listen to what he said in the Gospel of John, chapter 11, verse 9. The disciples telling him about the Jews of the lake is sought to stone him, which is to murder him. I'm thinking the elders, they're the Jews, they're assaulting, they're plotting to kill Yeshua. And Yeshua said, are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walking in the day and stumble not, because why don't he stumble? Why is the man that walking in the day stumble not? Because he's the light, child. Remember how Sister Deborah tell you spirit and truth and the light in your right hand? I meant that. This is exactly what he said. He's saying the same thing. He that walk, wait a minute, any 12 hours in the day. He that walketh in the day and don't stumble and stumble not. What's keeping him from stumble? Because he seeth the light of this world. He knows the light of this world. Now watch what he's saying. But if a man walketh in the night and he stumble, because there is no light in him. So he's showing you people are either have the light or they have not the light. Listen to what he's saying. Because there is no light in them. That light is this is not the light of the image. This is the light of what you would call righteous, the seed of the spirit. You know how he said, he that is born of the spirit is of the spirit. He that is born of the flesh is of the flesh. You know that all of us are born flesh out of a woman's womb. We are flesh. But what is he trying to say? It's telling you the part of your spirit that if you're born of the flesh, that means your spirit is created to do the things like the ways of the flesh. It comes to support the ways you're going to do or act or be in your flesh. But if you're born of the spirit, then it's coming to be about the spiritual things. That's the two. Same thing here. He's telling you the two difference in the world that has the light. He ain't gonna stumble. He that has the light, he ain't gonna stumble because he already know the world. What it tells you, see it, the light of the world. So he knows in this world who's the light. And he's telling you, but he that walketh in the night, he gonna stumble because there is no light in him. So he's telling them, I know. I ain't telling me nothing I don't know. You ain't telling me nothing I don't know. I know the light in this world, and I know which one is the darkness. That's what he's telling. So he's connecting them to two seeds, the serpent seed and the spiritual seed. He's connecting it to two things. He that's born of the flesh and he that's born of the spirit. He's connecting it in two ways here, stumble and stumble not. He's connecting it in two ways here by letting you see the dark. It brings up the night and it brings up the light, the day. So he's showing you examples of the twos, letting you know, letting the disciples know, look, I'm good. I don't care about the Jews that's out here, the late that of late sought to stone me. I'm not afraid of them. I know who they are because I know the light in this world. And he that is in the dark of this world, they stumble and they don't have the light that I know that exists here on this earth. Going back to say it to you, I tell y'all that all the time. I tell you all that all the time. All this faking it, trying to fit in, trying to feel in, trying to get in. That's why you see them come and go. And sometimes they'll come creeping right back in. Come and go again. Let me creep on back up in. I explained to y'all the young lady that her and her daughters was with me when I first started. And could nobody come on this devil platform and say nothing about Sister Deborah. That mother and daughter pull up on them people and them people take off. That's just how bad Sister and Mama was. They would pull. They would show up and they would pull up and say something to anybody to blink their eye regarding their sister Deborah. And I was telling you, her mother and her grandson come to visit me, and all the things that had happened at the end, the night before she left, she sat down and we talked, and she told me all this and this. But before she was able to tell me, she sat on my bed. She said, "Can I come in?" I said, "Yeah, come on in." And we sat down, talked for a long time. And I first and foremost, before she started talking, I started telling her, "I know this, I know this, and I know this." And I told her about her grandfather and her great great grandfather and her grandmother. I'm just telling her things, and then that's what made her come out and tell me all the whole thing that was going on. And I remember I was telling y'all her cousin uh, uh, met her at the airport, knowing I was supposed to pick her up and bring her here, because he was telling her I'm a witch and I'm a false prophet. I'm a this, I'm a that. But when he saw me pull up with that GMC truck, get out and pick her up and realize, hey man, that's a woman. That's a woman. Wait a minute. He shocked him. Hit the look on his face. The look on his face when he saw me in reality. It was like, and her and her grandson, they hugged me. We talked and everything. And this guy, which her cousin, he just walking to the thing, to the truck while we was getting the luggage. He was walking. He was just shocked. Cause see, right then, his spirit knew, wait a minute, that woman is somebody. But that's what they was tracking her down for. They was tracking her all the way down here for me, and she gave them all my address. She gave them all my everything, and she followed me for years. She followed me for at that time. She had followed me for say 4 years, and then she no, yeah, almost 4 years, and then she came to visit. But just imagine, why did you give them my address? Why did you give them my information? Why did you give uh 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 the guy here, your cousin, my address? That's my question to her. Guess when? The last night when she came in and told me all about it. After I had confronted her about what I think that was in her family. And then she went on to telling me the her whole lifestyle is so heavy in their house and their family, to where I explained to her, you know what it was about? You knew something. And they don't want you to come from out of I think it was North Carolina, South Carolina, where she's from. They didn't want it to come out. And they know if you get a hold of me, then you're gonna tell what's been going on in the family. That's what it was about. I said the one that was chasing you down all the way from there to here, he don't even stay. He stays here in where I stay at, the state. I said, you know why he was chasing you down and looking up where I stay and looking up me? You know why? Because he's one of the big dogs in that whole mess. And she said, yes, he is. He was the one that turned her son out. It's so deep, y'all. She got grown son, the grandchildren, the granddaddy, the great great granddaddy, the grandmama, all of them was in it. Whole bunch of demonic mess, all this incest, all this abomination, and it's just flagged right down to all the kids, grandkids, great great grandkids, cousins. And when they saw her come out of that environment, they thought she was going to be able to disperse the mystery. And she told me the one that met her at the airport, he's one of the big dogs. His father was one of the big dogs in that incest. I said, well, it goes back to grandpa. She said, yeah, Miss Deborah did. Because that was who their daddy was. My cousin. Their daddy did it to them, and they did it to our children, and we did it. And then she went on the deep end too. She told me what she used to do. You see, she said it was too rooted in the family. So that's why I tell y'all, a lot of times y'all think y'all don't know what he said when he said he come to bring the sword. He knows what he's talking about. He knows he's trying to get ends away from the serpent seed. And if he can't bring the sword of truth to do just that, without individual looking at you all cockeyed like you the wrong one and they the right, get somewhere and sit down with that. Okay. But I just wanted to let y'all know the end. I never told y'all the end of it was that the whole big family, from 2, 3 grandpas to 2 or 3 great grandma, was practicing all that witchcraft and homosexual. So all the grandkids are mostly out there. She was telling me all. She said when I told them I was coming to see you and I'm delivered, I'm not in it anymore, like like everybody else. They didn't want that. That's why they touch base with the one they don't even deal with, but yet they come touch base with him to try to freeze it. All y'all, they went all the way to jumped off that out of that truck, pulled up on him. I mean, not on him, but on her. When I didn't know he was gonna be there, that just shows you how she set me up. She set me up because I had some words for him, and he spoke to me, and I just looked at him. I ain't got no dealings with you, and he stood still. See, he didn't know. How is it I'm trying to do something to her when y'all done already done it? You messed her up from the inside out. What's the rats behind you think I'm supposed to do? But do you see how I let her in? Because I'm a person that believe in people. And now she texted me last year and told me she decided to go another way. So I hadn't even heard from her. But when she said that, I was like, baby, you don't want to go that way. Back that same way you came. Oh, Father, yeah. So, and I even told her, she knew that I was going to speak about it because we talked about it. To see, because I looked at also the idea that you gave them all my information and brought them all the way to my turf. Uh-uh. He, let me get on back to this message. Okay, so let's go to Revelation chapter 21. Revelation chapter 21 and verse 23 and 25. Let's see what Revelation is saying. In Revelation 21, and I'm going to end it here. And I want to say that night and day, and light and darkness, you have to put it under the right order. Because when they did this book, they smeared it, they moved it here from there. You don't know the difference in light. You don't know the difference in, they made it out of the soul. They just moved so much everywhere. So you can't put it all together and try to pan it out. It's not going to work. You got to take it for each one. You got to read each one and see what it's saying. Because that one we just covered in John chapter 11, verse 9 through 11, he was telling his disciples, those Jews are coming, wanting to stone me. I see him. I see him. I know who is in the light, and I know who's in the night, because the night gonna stumble, and he that's in the light is not gonna stumble. See, that's what he was talking about. He was talking about he that's born of the flesh, and he that is born of the spirit. He that is of the serpent seed, and he that is of the spiritual seed. He was using night and day and the light and darkness. That's what it was really talking about. So you have to, it wasn't the darkness that was in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 through 5, or 5, 4, and 5. So when we get to Revelation chapter 21 and verse 23 and 25, let's cover that. In Revelation chapter 21, verse 23 and 25 through 23 through 25, it reads, verse 23. And the city had no need of the sun, neither the moon, to the moon to shine in it. For the glory of God did lit it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. Now, see, right there, God is the major light, okay? So he's telling you, listen to this, the city of where the heavens is, okay, the city had no need for the sun, the moon to shine in it. For the glory of Yah did light lit it. His glory alone is the ultimate light. So you don't need nothing else to compare it to or to stand as light. Yah's light, his glory is the capital light. Now here they didn't even have sense enough to make you see him being the light. It says, and lit it. Yah's what? Glory. That's the same thing that's going to be on Mount Zion. That's going to cause the world to look up and see his glory in the midst of Mount Zion. That's going to be, see, I'm telling y'all, these are the things that's going to happen to where he going to get his own glory. He don't need you to give it if you ain't got it, or if you don't have it, ain't meant for you to have it. He's going to get it regardless. I just want to give him what he, because I appreciate that grace and mercy he poured out on all of us. I appreciate him being all that he was, all that he is, and all that he's going to be. You know, I see him to be the greatest, the best, the excellent, the perfect one, the great one, the faithful one, the all-knowing one, the all-power one, the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega, the I am. I see him to be all that. So I want to give him his glory that's due him now. I want to exalt him now. I want to praise him now. And if I have to get on this devil platform and say it over and over and over, I'm going to say it. You just take your tail on somewhere and sit down to another platform somewhere else. But stay there. That's what I do not like people coming back and forth, back and forth. They need to stay away. And what I need to do is start what I'm going to do. That's why I wanted to start the new page. I'm going to go into YouTube and ban them from my page. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. That in and out sort of stuff, I'm going to do it. So whenever they try to come back, stay where you at. You ain't going to be able to step in and out. Because the word of Yah is what's in me to speak. And if you can't get the word, if you going here and there, and your feelings and emotions get hurt, you over here, you going all over. You ain't need no business on this page. Because I'm gonna tell y'all something. In this day and time that we are in a time, a day that Yah has created to be a dark day. And I mean darkness for as evil and wicked. And if you don't find a pillow to lay on and rest your spirit and force your flesh to sit down so it can have, your spirit can get all the food that it needs. Because whether you have him in you or you feel that you're seeking him or whatever, you got to tame that flesh. Because it ain't gonna let nothing come out of that spirit that's righteous. Oh no. It ain't. Because if your spirit don't have its place to control your flesh, you can hang it up. You're written already, but it's not where you think. So here in Revelation chapter 21 and 23, it reads, and the city had no need of sun. This is in the heavens. This is after everything is over. Neither the moon to shine in it. For the glory of Yah did light it. And the Lamb is the light thereof. And the Lamb is the light thereof. In verse 24. And the nations of them which are saved, you see the nations? So you see how Hebrew Israelites want to make you think it's they nasty tail? You just heard the disciples telling Yeshua, the Jews is out here wanting to stone you. I don't know why y'all don't understand. Your own nation wants to kill Yeshua. So what makes you think they want to uplift what everything stands for now? You think your nation want anything righteous? No. That's why he's going to take their tails, pull his remnant out, bring them to the mountaintop, and everybody else, y'all, you're going to die on this land. You're going to die on this land. Okay? And you go on and think you're not, but you will. And it says in verse 23, and the city had no, did I go over that one? 24. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it. See? We don't need sun, moon, stars. He's the ultimate light. And all nations is going to walk therein. Who he is. That glorious, his glorious light. And the Lamb is, no, and we on 24. And the kings of the earth do bring it their glory and honor unto it. Right here, I'm going to tell y'all something. Let me go back here. I'm trying to figure out, is this on Mount Zion or is this in the kingdom? Yeah, this is in the kingdom. Now listen to this. And the nations are going to, and the kings of the earth do bring it their glory and honor unto it. The kings of all nations. That's going to be them. They're going to be some of them that's going to be saved, y'all. See how if you listen to the Hebrew Israelite movement, you listen to those talking, we the true Jews, you the true fool, because you still teaching and preaching true lies. I realized the deepness of their lies when I got to Deuteronomy 28 endgame. Say, wait a minute, these men ain't teaching endgame message. They teaching what they want, but they ain't teaching the endgame. How could you do that? They don't care. They do not care, you guys. Because you're gonna sit and put them on pedestals regardless. You're gonna make them kings, leaders, and rulers. All they want to do is feel that. Okay, they don't care if it is a lie they teaching and preaching you all in meeting. And he says, and the kings of the earth do bring it their glory and their honor unto it, and the gates of it shall not be shut at all by that day, and there shall be no night there. There's no night because he's going to do away with day and night as you knew it. He's going to deal with day and night as you know it. He's only going to deal with him and his glory being all the light. When it speaks of the Lamb is the light thereof, I myself, still in my own study, believe that the Lamb was two parts. The Lamb, which was the blood sacrifice, and the Lamb that upheld the Lamb. The one that had the sacrificed lamb over his shoulder. And he was the shepherd that comes to suffer with the lamb that was over him. So he carried him all the way to the altar. I believe that there were when Yeshua said, and he was praying, he says, take away this bitter cup, not my will, but thy will. I believe that was Christ in which he was speaking to, because he began to feel his mission as the Son of Man, not the Son of Yah, but the Son of Man. So I believe that that's why he was disappointed in the disciples falling asleep, because they played no role in his end. That's why it just brought him back to what he was going through in the flesh as the Son of Man, because he had to go to the cross, on the cross, as the Son of Man, Yeshua. And how he went is through the Son of Yah, Christ. That's how he got to the cross and fulfilled the cross. The Son of Yah is Christ. So when he was done, before he even gave up the ghost, what did he say? Why have thou forsaken me? So he himself knew that whatever it is, I have to go as the Son of Man on his cross to do the what? The complete mission of the Father from the heaven. I have to go alone. So in that process, he felt the presence of the Son of Yah, which is Christ, leaving him to complete the mission as a man. But he didn't complete the grave as himself. That's why the Son of Yah was there present with him in the grave to raise him back up, to make sure nothing um, deteriorate or nothing go out of line. That's why the grave, at the grave, I believe that the Son of Yah had to sit in him as the Son of Man in the grave. See, what people didn't understand, the flesh were dead. But when Christ entered back in after he completed it and it was finished, Christ then came back to go to the grave lie there the 3 days and raise him back up. But he died for you and I, like a man born of a woman. Praise the mighty Yah. So it was two other verses here I didn't get to, but all I want to say to you all out there is when we go into your study guide, somewhere along the line, it's important that we have the Holy Spirit. The only one that's going to be able to correct the things that man has taken out of order is the Holy Spirit. No, we can't do it. No, we think we could, we can, we feel we can, but we can't. That makes us lead to he that can. If you don't say within yourself, I can't, I don't, you know, you're not leaving the room for he that can and can do. So you first have to take it off of you and let it be left on the one that can, which is the Most High God. And what I understand is what I'm understanding even more. And I learned something yesterday quite a bit because Yah showed me individuals. And he said, but you knew it. I get chastised and disciplined. I get chastised and disciplined by the Most High Yah. And I love it. The reason why I like that whole idea is because I understand fully why. Because I have this thing about believing in the flesh of individuals. Even when I know their spirit, it's not what it appeared to be. Yah disciplined me by constantly bringing to me things he's come to me over and over with, just to keep me in the mindset of understanding things more so on the spirit end than the flesh. Because see, the flesh is what is manipulated. And it acts, it conduct itself, it do things. But if you keep your eyes on the individual in the spirit, you will know who they are. That's the part he said, try the spirit by the spirit. So if he gave me the spirit of discerning and he taught me how to try the spirit by the spirit, why are you accepting the flesh? That's where I get disciplined. Because he say, now you know. Now, if you know that you know, why are you playing? Why are you portraying you don't know? Why are you giving individual the benefit of how are you playing with it? So he was correcting me when he was telling me about the days of Noah. So he just let me know you can't win, Deborah. You cannot and you will not win. So I know what it's like to get chastised and disciplined and corrected by the Most High Yah. So Sister Deborah, I hope you got something out of it. And I know I didn't really explain light and darkness as I know that I can. And maybe one day I might get in it and really just deal with darkness and blackness. Darkness, day and night, because it's used for many of situations in your instructions and direction book. But you really can't find the fullness of it until the Holy Spirit brings it to you and say, well, no, this one means this. That don't mean the same as this one. That one don't mean the same as this one, but this one mean the same as this one. Can you see it? Can you see it? This one mean the same as this one. So when the Ruach come to teach you, to level it off the way it teaches you, you got it. So Sister Deborah, hope that each and every last one of you all uh, has received something from this message. And hopefully I'll be back at 8 p.m. Central Time. How about that? Shalom and shalom.